Hello and welcome back to Tokyo, busiest city of Japan, where a massive wall shields the city from the Hell's Gate, a dangerous otherworldly realm. Inside the city, things are no better as contractors. Deadly killers with supernatural powers terrorize the streets. Kurihara Misaki and her team from public security struggle to control the chaos, all while a mysterious masked figure, BK-201, hunts down the contractors. The city teeters on the edge as they race to uncover BK-201's identity and the dark secrets behind Hell's Gate. Make sure to subscribe and like for more. The story begins with a man named Lewis who can control gravity being chased by the police. To escape, he uses his powers to beat them and runs to a rooftop. But there a masked man named Hai shows up. Hai demands information about an object. Lewis tells him that a woman has it, and then Hai kills him and leaves.
Sick.
The next day, a Chinese exchange student named Li Xing soon moves into a new boarding house. The landlady shows him to his room, which is next to a woman named Haraguchi Ayami. Ayami works at a karaoke bar, but is secretly a criminal named Chiaki Shinoda. While at work, she realizes that two customers are undercover cops who know her true identity. She panics and runs, with the police chasing her. Looks like Ayami just wanted to hit the high notes, but now she's hitting the road. Hopes she knows her escape song. As Chiaki escapes, she bumps into Lee, who is looking at the stars with a telescope. He helps her avoid the police, and they talk briefly before she leaves. Later, she meets her partner, Jean, who asks her about Lewis. Chiaki refuses to show him something Lewis had given her, saying she was told to only give it to someone who comes with Lewis. This makes Jean angry, and he attacks her. Hadi suddenly arrives, paralyzes Jean, and takes Chiaki with him. But as they reach a bridge, Jean and his men ambush them. Jean knocks Lee off the bridge, and he gets hit by a train. Jean then captures Chiaki by knocking her out. When Chiaki wakes up, she's at Jean's headquarters. He tells her that Lewis is dead, and that he was also a contractor like Jean. Chiaki tells him that when a shooting star appears, it means a contractor has died. So if you see a shooting star tonight, don't wish for anything. Just hope it's not a contractor crashing the party. Lee, caught in a complicated situation involving mysterious people with superhuman powers, known as contractors. These contractors gained their powers after the appearance of two strange places called Hell's Gate and Heaven's Gate, which changed the world. They are emotionless and ruthless, like a character named Jean. There are also dolls who are emotionless beings created to look like humans. Lee meets a woman named Chiaki and helps her escape from the police by sneaking out of her boarding room window. They'd hide in a restaurant where Lee advises Chiaki to go to Moku to stay safe. He mentions that a friend could make her fake documents, but Chiaki refuses
Sorry, dude.
because it's too expensive. Chiaki then tells him her real name is Jackie. While they're eating, a man named Huam, who is in disguise, approaches Lee and tells him that the job he's doing suits him. The police show up again, but Lee and Chiaki manage to escape. They go to a secret place where Chiaki gives Lee a key to a safe that holds important information. After getting the book from the safe, Chiaki suddenly feels weak, but Lee ignores her and leaves because he's focused on his mission. He changes into all black, revealing his true identity as Hai. When Hai opens the book, it's empty, and Jean and his team confront him, revealing it was all a trap to set Hai up. Chiaki then shows up again, but it's revealed that she was actually a doll with the real Chiaki's memories, used to trick Hai. After the mission is done, the doll becomes emotionless again. Hai is attacked by Jean's men, but survives thanks to a bulletproof jacket and takes down everyone. Huang returns with a girl named Yin and a talking black cat named Mao, telling Hai that the object they were looking for has already been moved. In the end, Hai goes back to his boarding room, where the police question him about his neighbor Chiaki, but he pretends he doesn't know anything. Honestly, Hai's playing it cooler than a TikTok influencer. Hai getting ready for his part-time job. He's assigned to deliver documents and meets a man named Mr. Tahara. Meanwhile, a high school girl named Mai acts strangely because she accidentally burned some books in an alley. Mr. Tahara then gets a call from the school asking him to come over. It turns out he's Mai's guardian. The school says Mai's behavior is odd, which makes Mr. Tahara angry. He takes Mai home, but they argue about her powers. Mai gets frustrated, gets out of the car, and joins her friends. Later, Mai and Hai meet up and decide to go for a ride, but the place they want to go is closed. Hai uses his electric powers to turn on the rides, and Mai is thrilled. When they try to use the rides, the supervisor catches them, so they run away. She explains that her father, who was a scientist, told her the spot is a special talisman. Soon after, some men try to arrest Mai, but Hai stops them while Mai escapes to a building under construction. Honestly, it's giving sneaky vibes. Just two chaos gremlins out here living their best life. Mayu, pursued by men, accidentally unleashes her power to create fire, leading to a blaze around her. As she tries to return home, she nearly gets hit by a car and ends up burning it. A woman named Yuka and her father attempt to help Mayu. The police are called, and they eventually find Mayu in a park, but are attacked by a contractor named Luke. Luke captures Mayu and takes her to his boss, Kenneth. Kenneth contacts Mayu's father, but had been using Mayu as a test subject, manipulating her memories to erase her past. Mr. Tahara arrives at Kenneth's location and learns that Mayu's powers can be controlled by plant seeds he had been using. However, the seeds are shrinking, and if destroyed, Mayu's powers would be uncontrollable. Despite fighting against several contractors, Mr. Tahara fails to prevent Mayu's capture by Kenneth. In a desperate move, Mr. Tahara throws a wilted plant, claiming it is the last of his research. As the two embrace, a fire engulfs the area, and Kenneth kills Mr. Tahara. Mayu, regaining her memories in her rage, burns Kenneth. After the fire subsides, Huang and Mao arrive and invite Mayu to join them on a journey to Heaven's Gate, offering her a new path forward. Three contractors named November 11th, July, and April, who are operatives of a covered MI6 organization. They are on a mission to apprehend a notorious criminal contractor named Havoc and invite her to Japan. November 11th, a distinguished British diplomat.
Wait, what? What are you doing?
Is involved in managing international affairs related to contractors and frequently competes with another faction known as the CIE to capture elusive criminals. Upon their arrival in Japan, they encounter Masaki, a police inspector, and proceed to interrogate Havoc. During the questioning, it is revealed that Havoc had been subjected to experiments at a mysterious location known as Heaven's Gate, which emerged in South America. Havoc, however, remains evasive and refuses to provide any further details about the enigmatic site. Subsequently, while she is being transported by vehicle, an unexpected appearance by Hai disrupts the transfer. November 11th, whose true identity is Jack Simon, emerges from the vehicle and confronts Hai with the assistance of July and April. Upon their arrival at headquarters, Huang insists that Havoc, being a high-risk criminal, after the catastrophic destruction of South America, only Hai and Carmen survived. Carmen woke up in Europe, memory wiped and powers gone, and Hai cared for her, cooking and feeding her when she was too weak. His kindness finally brought a smile to her face, a rare moment for both. Meanwhile, Simon and Masaki searched for Havoc, suspecting she'd returned to the gate to regain her powers. When Hai and Carmen reached the gate, Carmen's past began to resurface, and her powers started to return. Panicked, she pulled away, unwilling to resort to violence. Masaki learned Simon's team had vanished after receiving intel about Havoc's power comeback. When Masaki and her team arrived, they were shocked to find Carmen dead, having never used her powers. Masaki was confused by Simon's intense fear of Carmen, which drove him to kill her. Simon dodged questions about his motives. The story then shifts to a contractor. This dude's got some wicked powers, launching a dark assault on an unsuspecting victim. He seizes control of the poor guy's body, forcing him to cough up something valuable before sealing his fate in a brutal twist of fate. The focus then shifts to Kiko, a woman on a mission, as she visits the private detective Gai Kurosawa. She's frantic over the disappearance of her cherished cat, a furry companion that her late husband Yuzuki adored. Hiko spills her heart about Yuzuki, who passed away a while back, and how the cat's loss feels like another piece of her heart gone, where several employees have met their grim end. Intrigued, he heads to Kiko's place, but gets sidetracked when she mentions Tashiko, Yuzuki's first wife, throwing suspicion her way for the catnapping. Meanwhile, under the cover of darkness, Hai and Mao are on the hunt, nabbing a contractor linked to a murder. Hai's got a hunch that this shady character could be behind the weird deaths plaguing the perfume company. The next day, Kurosawa finds himself at a restaurant where, in a hilarious moment of chaos, he mistakenly snags the contractor's jacket. Total wardrobe fail. Shaking it off, he makes his way to Tashiko's house, only to find the door wide open. What he discovers inside is nothing short of chilling.
What is going on around here?
The place is a disaster zone, and he's horrified to stumble upon a woman's rotting corpse. Kurosawa reported Tashiko's death to the police. They found that she died from a fall, and since she lived alone, no one found her body right away. Kurosawa then went to his client's house to return her cat, Mao, but it turned out that Mao wasn't her cat. So Kurosawa kept Mao. While on his way, Kurosawa met a contractor to swap jackets, but he started to suspect that the contractor was involved in the murders. The contractor figured out what was going on and tried to drown Mao. Just then, Hive showed up and attacked the contractor, who then ran away. Mao and Hai discovered that the contractor was actually an Indian named Amitabh Kapoor. They had a mission from the syndicate to capture him and take his stuff. But Kapoor had switched bodies with someone named Yukiyama. Meanwhile, Kurosawa went back to his client's house and thought she had asked him to find the cat to cover up Tashiko's death. He initially accused her of killing Tashiko, but after hearing her story, he learned that Tashiko had just fallen and died. So Kurosawa ended the investigation, and the next day, Tashiko's cat returned home alone.
Yes, I'm home! I'm alive!
In the end, it's just another day in the life of a detective, solving murders, body swaps, and a cat with more plot twists than a season finale. Misaki and her assistant Sato investigating the gruesome murders of several high-ranking members of a notorious mafia group known as Qing Long Tang. The police suspect that the elusive killer is a contractor with the code 6-952, prompting Misaki and Sato to devise a plan to infiltrate a hotel where the mafia members are secretly gathering. Coincidentally, the members are also attending a lavish birthday party for Alice, the daughter of one of the mafia's leaders. Misaki is acquainted with Alice from school, so Alice agrees to assist with the investigation. At the party, Alice introduces her personal bodyguard. Why? Misaki seizes the opportunity to spy on the meeting, but her investigation is interrupted when Alice approaches her, claiming she has crucial information about the contractor. Meanwhile, the upper echelons of the mafia are anxiously inquiring about Wan Qing's whereabouts. Wei coolly informs them that Wan Qing will not be attending and reveals that a new era is about to begin for the Qing Long Tang, having orchestrated the deaths of all the top members. Misaki, who has been piecing together clues, is abruptly confronted by Alice. Alice exposes why as the contractor Misaki has been searching for. When Alice attempts to shoot Misaki, the lights suddenly go out, providing Misaki with a chance to escape and find refuge. Misaki hides in the shadows, next to Hai, who is preparing to confront Alice. Hai's plan to deliver drinks was interrupted, so he and Misaki had to run away, but all the exits were blocked, and the emergency stairs were unusable. They hid in the bathroom and finally got to know each other. Except for the one he was holding, which turned into a crystal. Suddenly, Wei appeared and caught Hai, forcing them to fight. Wei had a dangerous ability to control his blood, allowing him to destroy anything it touched. The fight moved to the roof, and Wei knocked Hai off. Meanwhile, Misaki and Sato were tricked into a room where Alice was. Wei showed up and killed Alice because he wanted to take over the Qing Long Tang Mafia by himself. But then, Hai returned and fought Wei again.
I'm back!
He managed to kill Wei by electrifying his blood. It turned out Hai had only pretended to fall earlier, and the blood on him was his own, not Wei's. After finishing his mission, Hai left through the window. They really thought they were sneaking past the mob, not auditioning for a terrible reality show about bad disguises. High's sent on a wild mission to sneak into the Pandora facility, right next to the hellhole known as Hell's Gate. There have been some sketchy deaths happening at Pandora, but the suits there keep claiming they're just accidents. Spoiler alert, they're actually linked to a freaking meteor fragment that Pandora's trying to get its grubby hands on. To break into this heavily guarded fortress, High sticks a special chip in his neck to pass the entrance test like some kind of cyberpunk spy. On his way in, he bumps into Karina Moku, who's got this wild vibe and warns him that hanging near Hell's Gate can turn folks into total nutjobs. Just when they get to Pandora, Moku freaks the hell out and gets snatched by security. But High slides in and starts working as a janitor. While he's mopping floors and pretending to be a nobody, High meets Mina, a smart researcher who spills the tea about the meteor fragment they're hunting. She drops a bomb. It could wipe out Hell's Gate. Then he meets Nick, this astronomer dude who helps High peek past the fake-ass sky inside the facility to see the real stars. Turns out, not everything in Pandora is as sweet as it seems. Things take a dark turn when Moku ends up dead, and guess who gets the side-eye? Yup, High. Moku is actually a CIA agent trying to score intel from Pandora, and her untimely demise puts a wrench in those plans. In the grand finale, Pandora makes all the workers, including High, control robots to explore the wasteland outside Hell's Gate. They stumble upon a ruined world and a massive crater, sending High spiraling back to a traumatic memory from his past. He realizes that these meteor fragments are a ticking time bomb, and if they mess this up, all hell is gonna break loose. He quickly managed to calm down and left. Later, he met Nick, who had been chosen for a research team to find meteor fragments. But when the team set out, they were suddenly attacked, and everyone except Nick was killed. Unfortunately, Nick's legs were badly injured, leaving him in a wheelchair, and a mission was called off. The officer pointed a gun at Nick, believing he had the meteor fragments. Nick opened the locker, took out the meteor, had suddenly attacked and killed the officer using a special power. It turns out Nick is actually a CIA agent sent to recover the meteor fragments with a reward of a job at NASA. There, Nick met his younger brother, and they took a rocket into space, never returning. The light faded, and High finally got the meteor fragments, completing the mission. The story ends with Dwan panicking because Ian left without orders. Thanks for joining us on today's journey. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button, subscribe for more, and hit the bell to stay updated.